So in this scene, we're looking at our brave heroes approaching what looks like a purple magical portal with some magical swirl inside of it, casting some shadows behind our heroes, right? And we can see the motion inside the portal and how the motion affects their shadows on the tabletop. This is a pretty cool terrain piece, but we're not really here today to look at an arcane portal. We're here to look at what is powering it and allowing for that animation. Because behind the terrain, we've got this controller here that has selected the animation. So that controller looks like this. It has 4 buttons, a power switch, a swappable LED strip that looks like this, standard connector, and it has this little computer chip that determines what the animations will actually do and what colors we'll select. So let me move the portal out of the way and show you that if we wanted to take this controller and make a purple swirl, we could do that. We'll select purple as our color, and we'll select the swirl as our animation. You can choose the direction of the swirl, because you can choose anything about the animation, because I'm the one who programmed the chip to make the animation. So really, this cool terrain piece of a portal is just a combination of the solid terrain itself, which I made previously, and an LED strip embedded inside, which I didn't really do a great job of. But if we wanted to make specific terrain with a specific look, we could do that using this controller. And then we can embed the LED strip in whatever terrain we want to make it look more natural. So this was our purple swirl. But if I wanted to change the color back to red and change the animation to something like, here's a flicker, maybe of a campfire or a candlelight. Here is a smoldering ember animation where random embers appear and fade out slowly. And if we wanted to make terrain with that, we would just take that color and that animation and we would embed it into something like this cloud, which is just a pile of fluff that I spray painted black. See, this controller has selected red embers as the animation, but it's no different than this other controller that has a purple spiral for the portal. Because the real innovation here is the controller and the idea that this chip is programmable. We can define any animation we want for an LED strip, any combination of colors we want, and we can program it into a chip. These chips are small enough to send in the mail using a standard envelope. These controllers house a AAA battery pack and hide some of the wiring inside of this 3D printed case I made. So if somebody wants to make a wholly new animation, like maybe the crash of thunder, they could use one of the animations that are pre-packaged, since we can store dozens of them if we'd like. Here's the blue for the thunder, and here is the random flashes animation. See, it's dim right now, but it will occasionally flash like lightning. Maybe not often enough. There we go. So if you wanted arcane lightning, you could make it a purple flash. We'll move this out. If you wanted a series of blue sparks, you could use this animation. We've got any color and any combination we want. Here's one that I really like. I took it from Stranger Things. This is called Breathe, and this is a slow glow that gets brighter and then dimmer and then brighter and then dimmer again. It's got that mysterious organic feel with the added mystery of that solid red light, which is definitely not organic. That's how Stranger Things nailed that vibe so solidly. And we can do the same with any terrain that we want, because we control exactly what the LED strip will do we control the length of the cord to the LED strip. So if you make terrain and you want to hide the controller far away, you could make a long cord. If you want it to hide inside of it, like with the portal, these are just connected directly, you can make a short cord. So when I say we can make one, I mean that my shop can offer those different versions of the peripherals. And this core controller here, this is what makes it all possible. So right now, I'm not very good at making the actual terrain that I will use the LEDs with. This was a wooden portal that I made, and it's not very popular. So I'm hoping to supply these controllers and these custom swappable LED strips that people can combine into whatever terrain they want. And if anyone has ideas for LED animations, we can program that onto a new chip, swap the chip out with the new animations or new color schemes, right? You don't need to have solid colors like these red, orange, yellow, green that I have. We could make a mixture of blues for water and a mixture of red, orange, and yellow for flame or magma. And any color scheme, animation scheme is possible on a new chip. And any controller can take any chip. It can take any strip of LEDs. And we use a standard 4-button control scheme for cycling through the colors forward and backwards, and cycling through the animations forward and backwards. This device has no name yet, but the system here has a lot of potential. I'm hoping to involve anyone interested in LED terrain by taking opinions on what that terrain would look like, how it would hide the LEDs, and how they plan to use a controller like this.